In this video, through the stories of Jack and Jen, we'll unravel how our internal emotional and cognitive patterns can disrupt our lives, and how by reshaping these patterns, we can align our behaviors with our true desires. First, let's meet Jack. Jack's the kind of guy who gets really angry when his plane is late. He yells at the people working at the airport and even switches to a different flight just to make a point. At work, folks tiptoe around him because the smallest things can make him blow up. Even when he goes out to eat, if the food isn't just right, he gets mad at the waiter. But here's the weird part. Jack didn't want to be like this. He didn't think when he was a kid that he'd turn into someone who loses his temper all the time. And he really doesn't get why he's so mad. When he calms down, he even tells himself he'll never lose his cool again. And he really means it until the next time something goes wrong. Next, there's Jen. Jen's biggest wish is to have a loving partner and a bunch of kids to call her own. She imagines a picture-perfect house filled with happy noises of her children. But she just turned 40 and she's starting to worry that this dream might not come true. It's not that she hasn't tried. She's gone on tons of dates, but it just never feels right. Her friends say she might be messing up her own chances without knowing it, but Jen thinks that's crazy. It's not her. She just hasn't found the right person yet. But Jack and Jen and people like them don't have to lose hope. What they're dealing with is what we call an invisible roadblock. This happens when our feelings and thoughts don't match up with who we want to be, but it's something we can definitely change. Think of your life as a car. The patterns of thoughts and feelings inside you are like the driver behind the wheel. They guide all your choices and actions, shaping every part of your life. Let's talk about Jack. Nobody is born angry. The way he reacts is most likely learned from experiences he's had when he was young. The feelings that come up in these situations lead to the choices he makes and the stuff he does. Most of the time, he doesn't even notice it. It's not really the plane being late that's the problem, it's how he reacts to it. Maybe his parents neglected him while growing up, or he grew up in an environment where anger and conflict were the primary means of communication or expression. The reason isn't what's most important, though. The important thing is that Jack can learn to notice these feelings, understand where they're coming from, and learn to react differently. He can change his thoughts and feelings to lead to new actions that don't end up with him blowing his top. Then there's Jen. She's been looking for love but can't seem to find it because her own thoughts and feelings seem to get in the way. For some reason, deep down inside, she feels like she doesn't deserve love. Even though she really wants it, Jen stops herself from getting close to anyone because she doesn't believe she's good enough. Turns out her friends were right. Jen has been getting in her own way, and she didn't even know it. But just like Jack, Jen can change her patterns of thoughts and feelings. Instead of feeling like she's not good enough when starting a relationship, she can choose to feel happy and excited. Our feelings are what make us act the way we do. If we don't learn how to change these feelings, we can't expect to change how we act. By changing the patterns of feelings inside us, we don't have to force ourselves to act differently. The things that make us act out are gone, and our actions naturally match up with what we really want, and it doesn't even feel hard. We can't just think our feelings away, we need to train them. That's where my Fundamentals of Fulfillment contemplative training program can help. It helps you change the patterns of feelings inside you so that you can transform old habits that are no longer serving you. Through the program, you will gain visibility into the feelings that are making you act a certain way, even if you didn't know they were there, the roadblocks you can't see. In Fundamentals of Fulfillment, we bring these deep feelings from the shadows into the light. We train them so that they don't control your actions anymore. Instead, we turn them into new guides that help you create the outcomes you want. If you're like Jack or Jen, or if you feel like your actions don't match up with who you want to be, check out my Fundamentals of Fulfillment program linked in the description box below. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.